standing up. Shout out to the Falcons for defeating. Shout out to the Falcons for defeating the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to say it one more time just in case you didn't hear me. Shout out to the Falcons for defeating the Buffalo Bills. I do believe the score was 24-14. I was watching the rest of the game after I came back from the gym where I was on the treadmill and I heard some information and I dropped my phone and it slid right on the ground. I was like, what? Y'all, we got a good show planned for you tonight. When I'm telling you, we got some talking to do. We are not the only ones who are exposing what's really going on. I have in the chat, it says, what? I'm going to put it on the screen, go grab it and save it. This video dropped 14 hours ago. So when I saw it, it was 12 hours ago, which was 2 hours ago. At the same time, 12 hours ago, the NFL was dropping some type of video and they were talking about, it was about Josh Allen and maybe some other people, but he was in the video and they were talking about his wife. And I noticed, when he won his MVP, he talked about his wife. So I didn't know who his wife was. So I'm on the treadmill going, what? Y'all, you can't make none of this up. You can't make none of this up. When I tell you I had a aha moment, now it all makes sense. With them consistently, the Bills cheating. Lamar Jackson. Y'all know how the NFL mistreated Lamar Jackson when he was getting drafted. Everybody know they tried to switch him off the wide receiver. He refused. If it wasn't for Asa Newsom, who was black on his way out, he would have never got drafted, right? And we know since then, they try to go get GMs or people that they can control, like when Mike Tomlin, who's also a subject of our conversations tonight, was being intimidated or forced away from picking Shedeur Sanders or selecting Shedeur Sanders in the draft with these phone calls, right? And how they said, they try to say Andrew Berry was going to get scammed out of his picks, trying to say he's stupid, etc. He's also a subject of tonight's conversation. So, y'all, tonight, the link to the video has a thumbnail. It's scathing. And I said, this is why the NFL dropped that video 12 hours ago. After, I don't know who dropped that video first, this NFL Icon channel or the NFL. But I feel like one video was to counteract the other one. And I noticed Josh Allen is always talking about his wife. And I don't think none of it. I just figure he married some white chick, right? I don't know, right? I mean, come to find out, Josh Allen is the subject of the video where they talking about 10 racist NFL players. And most people are not shocked by Nick Bosa, right? They weren't shocked. They weren't shocked about Richie Incognito. I even talked about that, right? What he did to Jonathan Martin. I talked about that. But they talked about other players. And somebody was a head coach that we didn't know about these people. I didn't know about this. And then they got to Josh Allen. And I was like, what? So Josh Allen, the NFL knew, because, they look into your background. The NFL knew right before the draft, it came out that Josh Allen was pushing some snow supremacy type tweets, right? And yeah, he was in high school, but by that point, you have your own mind. So of course, what happened? I apologize, but that's not where it gets interesting. So Josh Allen is always talking about his wife. I've noticed that. My wife, helped me with this. My wife, this. My wife. I'm like, okay, whatever. His wife is a light-skinned black woman. I'm like, what? And better yet, his wife is not just a light-skinned black woman whose father is Jewish. Kind of Lenny Kravitz. His mother's black, but his dad is Jewish. Her dad is black, and her mother is black, African-American black, and Filipino, but they don't ever talk about that. So, when a person is black and Filipino, sometimes they refer to themselves as Blackapino because, they black, right? And they tend to, when they come to the United States, pick up black culture, but she from here. So, I don't know where mama from. But the point is, they always talk about her dad being Jewish because she carries her dad's last name. She's a light-skinned black woman. And I was like, what? Can you imagine? Can you imagine coming to the NFL finding out that you got these snow supremacy manifestations? If it ain't white, it ain't right. Yeah. And the same day you talking about your wife, at the identical time, a video drops exposing you as one of the NFL's 10. And these dudes are bad. These dudes like bad. Shouldn't even be shouldn't have no NFL Hall of Fame or nothing, but it's like they welcome that, right? But everybody in the comments was like, I can't believe this about Josh Allen. I didn't know this about Josh Allen. I said, God damn it, it all makes sense. I said, hold on, wait a minute. This is why they got Josh Allen always cheating. Lamar Jackson, and tonight of all nights, today of all day, the Falcons play the Bills, right? On the same day, it's announced that the owner of the Falcons donated $50 million to HBCUs. People in Atlanta say because the land that Mercedes-Benz sits on is cursed because it was a black church or a cemetery or something, and they ain't give a damn. They just mowed it over and put the new Mercedes-Benz stadium. So on the same day, he donated $50 million to HBCUs, and he gonna give it to them over what 4 years, right? So much money over 4 years, but he had already like helped certain HBCUs get their football fields resurfaced or whatever. And I kind of knew about that. But on the same day that announcement is made, they planned the Bills. And then people thought the Bills was going to win. The Falcons won. And the way the Falcons won, it proves what I have said about the Baltimore Bills, that the only way they can defeat Lamar Jackson and the Ravens is if somebody on the Ravens make a mistake. And I'm right. At the last minute, Josh Allen, they got the ball back with about 1 minute and 43 seconds. They was trying to hurry up offense. He threw an interception with 51 seconds on the clock. And honestly, the game was out of reach anyway, because 10 points, right? 10 points. And people talk about how they have sympathy for him because he can't never get to the Super Bowl. But shame on Lamar Jackson, who can never win the big game. So they got sympathy for Josh Allen, right? So what did I say about Jackson Dart? That he was smart to have his people come out and say, shout out, I appreciate Russell Wilson. In other words, look, I don't have a problem with black people. So I don't think Josh Allen made that statement. I think his statement is my wife. When he won that MVP and it was snatched away from him, snatched away from Lamar for the third time and given to him, and $330 million was given to him. I can't give him $330 million and tell Lamar Jackson no. And then Lamar Jackson wins the third MVP. So I cheat and I give it to Allen. And who does he bring on the stage? His wife. His wife is a light-skinned black woman. And I don't think black people are really the only people who know that black people are also light-skinned. Like, we come in about 64 different hues of black, right? All the way to hell, albino, right? Because they're absent of melanin, but we still know they're black because of their features. But she had apparently, seemingly, making sure I say this right, no disrespect to her, a nose something where it refined her nose. A plastic surgeon talks about it. You can see as she got older, they refined her nose, open up her nostrils. Because why? She's African. Her grandmother's African American, so we all got the same nose, right? In different sizes, shapes, and colors, but our features. So she had those features. But when I found out that not only was Josh Allen, it was discovered that he was pushing snow supremacy philosophy, that he married a black woman. And they keep using him to cheat a black man. And now it comes out that black woman was the character in the movie Sinners that played the character Mary. Mary in the movie Sinners is Josh Allen's wife. I'm like, what? So I look at the premise of the movie. I look at the premise of the character Mary, and it says it's the light-skinned black woman that has identity issues. I'm like, what? I'm like, you cannot make this up, bro. So at the same time, this damn NFL icons, I put the link in the chat, drop the video of the NFL's most players. And Josh Allen is on the list to so many people's surprise. Now, I'm not surprised that the NFL looked the other way. And all of this happened when we didn't know about it. But you could see how they try to pit Josh Allen against Lamar Jackson. And in particular, they've colluded against Lamar Jackson 3 times. Why? I told you, I feel like they have a problem with Lamar Jackson because he is visibly an African American. You can't take it from him. He's beautifully melanated. And I told you, I feel like the NFL go by the 1-drop rule, and they don't like that. So while they're getting ready to celebrate Josh Allen and his wife, they must have known that NFL Icons had just dropped the 10 most racist NFL players, and Josh Allen made the damn list. And tonight lost to the blackest NFL team out here, the Falcons. You cannot make this up. I was like, what? The gym, I thought I was like, what the hell is she reading on her phone? I was like, bro, you can't make this up. And when I found out that the character Mary in Sinners was a light-skinned black woman, because I didn't know what she was. I just knew, you know, in the movie, they were basically trying to say, keep her away because they got to her first. And they used her to take down Michael B. Jordan's character. So, and they had to keep moving their distance from her because they got to her first. I was like, damn, this changes everything. And I haven't seen anything where she's distanced herself from being black. I had a video, a little snippet of like a shorter story, her with Yara Shahidi, who's black, and Haley Steinfeld. I don't know what her mama's maiden is, but they kept using her dad's maiden name. Exactly how they say Drake moved through the industry with his Jewish heritage, right? And seemingly that's kind of like where she going with it, but not that I don't think she ever denied that she was black. But I noticed Josh kept saying, my wife. And I'm like, why you keep putting on his wife like that? I mean, normally they don't do that. You know, they was out there doing the work. But now I get it. You telling us you're not racist because you married a black woman. Oh, okay. I got it. But see, the NFL don't care. I told y'all this was the year they was going to turn their back on Pat Mahomes. And I was right. And now let's see what happens if the Bills are still protected going forward. I think all this time he's been talking about his wife. I'm sure he loves his wife. But I do believe that there may have also been some, see, I'm not racist. And then here come this video, airing it out. I'm like, what? You can't make this up. So Shedeur, don't worry about nothing. Just wait on God over there. Because, whoo, talk about airing out the laundry. Lord, I don't think you can make this up. I had to go back and look at the NFL video with Josh Allen and NFL Icons, and it's the same time frame. So I don't know if they knew it was coming and they tried to counteract it. I don't know. And maybe off the blank thought that the Falcons was going to lose. So he giving $50 million to the HBCUs, but the Falcons won. People really said they thought the Bills was going to win that game. The Bills can only win against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens if somebody on the Ravens teams messes up, whether it's Mark Andrews or Derrick Henry. That's facts. All right. So, all right, let's get to the show because I was not expecting none of that. And all I could do was laugh, y'all. I was just like, you can't make this up. You just can't make this up. I was like, I don't know if this is karma or a plot. I'm not sure. But when I saw that NFL Icons video, the NFL not about to get away with nothing. Pretty soon there will be a video on Shedeur Sanders and a video on Kyron Lacy, because I promise you, there are people who want you to forget about Kyron Lacy like they thought they was going to make you forget about Shedeur Sanders after the draft and in Cleveland. Just like this video is coming out, there will be a video, because I don't know who running NFL Icons, but they have no hesitation with speaking the truth. So, and the information in there is verifiable. Like I said, I knew about some of it. I actually researched it about Josh Allen. And yeah, it's spot on. He admitted it. He just did, you know, what people do. Oh, you know, it was a mistake, or I regret that I did that. Of course you did, because generational wealth, your own generational wealth, is staring you in the face. And if you don't apologize, then how's the NFL justify taking somebody in who's admittedly pushing snow supremacy, right? But then Nick Bosa's in there, and come to find out, I'm watching the Falcons game, and I see a Bills player with Bosa on his jersey. I said, hold on, Nick Bosa's brother plays for the Bills? Yep, they signed him in March to a 1-year contract. And you see how they put people in certain places, and you see how certain teams align with snow supremacy? And speaking of, let's move it on. Mike Tomlin called out Andrew Berry. And this is hilarious to me. Mike Tomlin said, basically, in the most professional way possible, call Andrew Berry stupid. And in the most professional way possible, by saying you traded away your quarterback who could to your competition at this point in time. And this is why I think maybe Flacco people had something to do with him moving out, and Cleveland couldn't do nothing with it. But This was for Mike Tomlin decided to speak up and hold Barry accountable. And instead of holding Stefanski accountable, the Browns fans and the Browns media are basically saying what? Oh, the O-line is trash. And Barry need to be fired because he got all of this, but he got all these quarterbacks, he got all these running backs, but he didn't get no O-lineman. What did I say after the draft? They got the sides, the dessert, but they didn't get no entrees. So now they want to blame Barry. They say Barry should be fired. And I told somebody, I said, y'all want to blame Barry. I said, and by no means am I defending Barry. I said, but you blaming Barry because y'all don't have an O-line. Who you going to blame for drafting Dillon? Because he was an undrafted free agent. Who you going to blame for keeping Shedeur on the bench? Who you going to blame for supposedly telling Barry to go fetch Deshaun Watson? Who you gonna blame if Barry is told to go fetch Arch Manning and that don't work out either? Y'all want to blame Barry, the black man in the room, who unfortunately allowed himself to be used. And this is where Barry is gonna learn a valuable lesson that they don't like you either, broski. It ain't just Shedeur. So his karma coming for him. So I'm not defending him. They can fire every last one of them. And what did the Cleveland Browns do today? Shout out to What She Said Sports Media Team. Y'all lit up my email today with this story about the Browns decided so they could get out of town and move to Brook Park and take the name with them that they willing to pay the city of Cleveland $100 million. They're also, in addition, or including the $100 million is they're going to pay $30 million to demolish the old stadium so it doesn't just sit there and ruin the city and look like blight. So shout out to the mayor for that. And they're going to pay $25 million for some type of residential housing, this, that, and the other. But the price tag for them to scot out of town and have all the lawsuits dismissed, the cases dismissed, including the Art Modell law about the name, is they're going to pay the city of Cleveland $100 million to be able to leave. I'm not mad at it. If the fans don't care enough to get up and fight, then the man did a good job. He like, fine, you can leave, but it's going to cost you. As it should. Because there were measures put in place so that this doesn't happen to the city again. And those fans are really loyal. So much so that one came to me today, and shout out to her if she followed me, no disrespect. But she was like, well, Barry is not the one. Barry is this and Barry is that. I said, excuse me, who drafted Dillon? Because that wasn't Barry's idea. Barry thought he was going to draft Shedeur. And you could go back and listen to all Barry's pre-draft conversation saying, no, I don't think we're going to have a problem with Coach Prime. And Shedeur, Barry thought he was in charge. He thought he was drafting Shedeur until when? You saw his face on draft night. You saw. And then what did he do? He promptly threw Shedeur under the bus because he'd rather have his job. Andrew Barry, our money ain't good money. So you took your Harvard degree and you used it for toilet paper to reel Shedeur in, knowing the philosophy and the racism that's rife around the Cleveland Browns, knowing that the Browns have never had a black franchise QB drafted first round, knowing that back in March, y'all had decided to trade away that pick to Jacksonville. But all y'all, Barry included, run down there to Colorado, still trying to reel Shedeur in so he could come and be embarrassed at the draft. And when that didn't work, y'all locked him out. And Andrew Barry, his owner and the other 31 took Shedeur off the board. And Andrew Barry is right there. He works at that facility. He knows that every day discriminated against Shedeur, and he allowed it to happen. So fire him too. Because he thought he was different. He thought he was a different kind of black. No, they don't like you either, broski. So shout out to Mike Tomlin for calling out Andrew Barry. And another reason I feel like he called out Andrew Barry is because of what I just said. He played a part in trying to devalue Shedeur, talking about he don't have a modern skill set for a quarterback, that he outdated. But then they're going to run out here and sign Flacco for the same money they give Shedeur. But then they was going to pay Shedeur $46 million. And people were upset. And at first, I didn't understand either. Why didn't you just get Shedeur, Mike Tomlin? But I listened to what he said. After the draft, there were these phone calls. And people rushed to take it off the internet. I think I got a screenshot of it. There were these phone calls, and we had to listen to these phone calls, and you know it was on speaker, and you know what the phone calls were. Disparaging Shedeur like they did in that diatribe that I marked up with the different color Sharpies. And yes, he could have still taken Shedeur just like Ozzie Newsome. And it wasn't about him getting fired. It was because he knew the plan was to keep Shedeur on the bench in Pittsburgh, just like he is in Cleveland. And they could have got rid of him and Shedeur, and it wouldn't have mattered. And then what comes out afterwards? That Aaron Rodgers is accused of domestic violence. So now he's not coming back next year. So they got hoodwinked into passing up on their franchise QB. Or did they? Maybe like Cleveland, they want their great white hope next year because they're trying to stack the deck and bring out 10 white quarterbacks between the first and the second round. And maybe Lenore Sellers can get in there somewhere. But he was out for a minute, unjustly concussed. And I told y'all, there are no coincidences here, people. You don't even hear them talking about him in the first round no more. But suddenly, UT goes out here and does something they haven't done through the first, 5 games? And they defeat number 6 Oklahoma at the same week that UT was getting ready to fall out of the top 25 or had just fallen out of the top 25 in 15 years. I wonder how much that costs, because now they rank number 21. Did Colorado move up that much after we beat a ranked team? There are no coincidences here, people. So while there are fans calling to fire Stefanski, right? There are people who are also making excuses for Stefanski. I feel like the Tennessee Titans gave the Browns an out, a green light. The Tennessee Titans, just in case y'all don't know, I posted it earlier. They fired their head coach, Callahan. And y'all know I said Callahan did Cam Ward dirty and was doing him dirty from the jump. We drafted one overall, $48 million guaranteed, fully guaranteed. But you got to go out here and compete with Will Levis that failed. But then Will Levis gets injured. But they still don't want to name Cam the starter. Then when there's press conferences, Callahan threw Cam Ward under the bus with a racist dog whistle. And then what happens next? A noose pops up at the Tennessee Titans' brand new construction site for their stadium. And then they start being nice to Cam. But then it's time to play ball. Then Cam is getting sacked and one of his teammates trying to fight him. You know, culture starts at the top. And it don't matter whether you think Shedeur is better than Cam or not, but he didn't deserve this. Because this is the same thing they did to Shedeur in game 5. Set him up to fail. And I believe that Brian Callahan believed that his losing record of 1-5 to start the season was going to have some type of consequences for Cam. What you thought they was going to do? They paid him guaranteed money. They got to pay him. They got rid of Callahan instead. He thought they was going to get rid of Cam. Shout out to the Tennessee Titans. Now they can try to save their season and get a coach that wants to play football and not Jimmy the Crow. Trying to tell black quarterbacks that you don't belong here. You don't belong in the most important position on the team. How many times did Andrew Berry say that? That is a reason I also believe there was something there when Mike Tomlin decided to speak up against Andrew Berry. Why not? Look at the part he played into what's happening with Shedeur. He right there. You could say something. So shout out to the Tennessee Titans. They're 1-5, just like the Browns. They fired their head coach. So now you see the Saints like, you know what? We got Spencer Rattler. We just gonna rock with that. They want to get ready to buck their fan base because they're crazy. They're already talking about on the internet how the Saints gonna go up to Chicago for the game. Because that's what Saints people do. They follow the team around. So they're not gonna sit by and let you drag the team to hell. They done been to Aints before. They're not going back there. Then the Titans, they 1-5. They people was complaining. They saw Cam out there balling. So they must have had some conversation behind the scenes. Get rid of him. Because we want to win. Because winning feels good. But not the Browns. They still stuck. Even with people coming out and telling the truth, they still stuck. Even with Stefanski, still not wanting to talk about improving the quarterback position. This how you know this is Haslam. So while the owner had to pay $100 million to leave, them fans better stand up. Them fans who want to keep showing up over there better stand up, just like the Atlanta fan base does, just like the Tennessee Titans fan base does, and the Saints and everybody in the South. Pay attention to that. That means that's that deep fried racist mentality up there in Cleveland. Didn't y'all say Haslam's brother was the governor of Tennessee? Are they from Tennessee? Or did they move there? Same mentality. It's just up there in Cleveland. And they got their own problems, which to me explains their fan base. It explains their fan base being silent. Like, what are y'all going to go? What are y'all going to see? Would you sit there and watch a white quarterback get trashed 0-15 every week? Or did it bring you some kind of joy that Deshaun Kaiser was black, even though he grew up in Germany? But it don't matter. He's still black. Like I said, right? We come in 64 colors at minimum. 64 hues of melanated beauty at minimum, including albino. Our features are the tell. Whether you run out and you have surgery on your nose or not, because you're going to bring kids into this world, and either their classmates going to tell them that they black, or the parents of those classmates will tell them. Ain't no ducking it. So the Browns still making excuses for Stefanski. Dillon wasn't that bad. The players couldn't hold on to the ball. But you know what fans pointed out, and even Pittsburgh Steelers fans pointed out? Pittsburgh defenders dropped at least 5 interceptions in addition to what was already done. So maybe they was trying to take it easy on them, or maybe they was just that bad. You know, the balls were that bad. But they still making excuses for Dillon. They making excuses for Stefanski. Even when Dillon decides to put his hands on a player that tried to tackle him, people said it. If Shedeur had done something like that, he'd be suspended. Like Shiloh, out the league. They would call him a thug and everything else. But Dillon gets a pass. So they want to roll with Dillon. They want to roll with Stefanski. And the fans, I guess, just going to keep on rolling with the foolishness. These people playing in y'all face and laughing out loud, LOL, and counting your money at the same time. Because y'all don't have enough whatever you got going on to stand up for yourself. To expect some accountability. They talked about it. They said the Pittsburgh Steelers fans expect to win. The Browns fans expect to lose. How many times are y'all going to buy into we're going to get our great white hope? When the last time you had one of them? Baker Mayfield? And where the hell is he? Winning for Tampa. And he don't ever probably want to ever come back to Cleveland. Neither does Johnny Manziel. And Bernie Kosar was a long time ago and even spoke out well of Shedeur. But did the Browns want to hear it? No, because they got their own agenda. And you best believe it's snow supremacy. You best believe that. And that's what they want to hold on to in Cleveland. And I guess the fans must support that. So that's on them. Shedeur Sanders fans at this moment have decided, even before today's excuses about Stefanski came out, even after Callahan was fired and got the same record as Stefanski, and the Browns don't want to move off of Stefanski, don't want to elevate Shedeur. They just want to lose and lose and lose. Even Shedeur Sanders fans today are like, you know what? He don't need to play. Just don't worry about it. I agree. Because either you're going to be hurt and set up like you were in the Rams game by Stefanski, and that's it. Set up and hurt. That's it. That's all you could expect. One or the other or both. Set up and or hurt. And you don't deserve that. So if God's will is for you to be on the bench, that's for your protection. Because Cleveland ain't safe. Not if the fans' mentality is to watch a black quarterback go 0-15 and they're not willing to hold the team accountable. And if they know what I just learned, that allegedly Hugh Jackson said he was incentivized to lose as a black head coach. So wait a minute. You incentivizing a black head coach to lose. Why you hiring? The same thing happens to Brian Flores in Miami. But Brian Flores gets together with some of his other coaches and they have a class action lawsuit. This is the same time Deshaun Kaiser is going 0-15. Young black kid. Drafted drafted out the second round, around number 50, to be their franchise QB. Why? That ain't where you get your franchise QB. That's where you get a QB to develop and become QB 2 or 3. And if QB 1 get hurt, then we gonna elevate you. But we got to develop you first. So it's like they intentionally setting up black quarterbacks to fail in a franchise that has zero accountability and no interest in winning. Only does favors as a dumpster. That's it. And the fans seem okay with that. So that means Shedeur's in a situation where he's going to have to wait on God. Period. And we know one thing about God. Won't he do it? And God is never late. The timing is always perfect. So that's just what we're going to have to accept. That's just what we're going to have to accept. I have a Shedeur watch to make sure Shedeur good. Tell you some new information. I have no idea if Cleveland going to do any better. I don't expect them to. And we just keep tabs on Shedeur. Maybe a miracle pop off before Miami. I'd like to see it. That's what our Shedeur watch is about. But the reality is we know who this franchise is now. Even Tennessee fired their one head coach, and even New Orleans is moving forward with Rattler. Even the Falcons got their crap together over there and just beat the Bills. But the Cleveland Browns seem content with losing, and their fans seem to be okay with that. And it's like they don't realize that we all see straight through them like clear glass, and they just making up excuses to keep a toxic culture in place in Cleveland. They're not calling for Shedeur over there. Maybe a few of them are. Some of them calling for Stefanski to be fired. Hell, CJ Stroud name that entered the chat. I'm like, oh, hell no. CJ Stroud is due for an extension after this season. And now his name is coming up. And we already saw what they did to him his sophomore year. We see what they're doing to him this year. They're devaluing him. So that when it's time for them to make him an extension, it's going to be less than. Because they're ready to move him out too. People talking about how Bryce Young is already on the move to leave the Panthers. I'm like, and why is this? All those quarterbacks that got drafted between Lamar and Shedeur, whether it's Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, they trying to move them out. And the reason I think they try to move them out is because they believe they have an ironclad plan to hold back the Shedeurs, to hold back the Jalen Milroe. It's 3 of y'all this time, but we're going to only let one go. But then this is where the dichotomy comes in. The fans are like, over here in Tennessee, we ain't just sit up here and trying to lose now. We're not doing none of that. So they fired Callahan. I'm sure that was unexpected, but they had to give in to the pressure. The Browns want to act like they don't hear nothing. That's why they separated the Browns fans from Shedeur Sanders fans, so they can justify not making any changes. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And Dylan out here trying to fight another player. Did he get fined or suspended? Because a player for the Lions got suspended for trying to fight a player from the Chiefs. This is what's wrong with Dylan. He think he different because they using him. Maybe they finished using Josh Allen because he keep telling us he married to a light-skinned black woman without telling us directly he's married to a light-skinned black woman, but he keeps pivoting to his wife. I ain't mad. Serena Williams' husband, he love her too, right? Because he damn sure clowned Stephen A today or yesterday or recently. People are like, Stephen A, did you really do that? See, a lot of people maybe didn't watch the Super Bowl or don't know that Serena Williams performed at the Super Bowl with toward the end. She got on the stage at Crip Walk because she's from LA, Compton. That's their culture, right? And she said that after I guess Stephen A called her out and said, how you gonna get on the stage and blah, 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 blah. If you married to me, I tell you, you must want to still be with Drake because, you know, Kendrick Lamar, Drake beef, and here comes Serena Williams. Like thoroughly embarrassed her, right? Like treated her like, you know, how dare you embarrass, if you married to me. Well, her husband showed up today and say, hey, I heard you have some marital advice for me. Alexis Ohanian don't seem to play about the black women in his life. Maybe that's what Josh Allen was trying to do. But Alexis Ohanian, he did it. And do you know what Stephen A's response was after having all that gusto for his wife, Serena Williams, for Alexis's wife? He sounded like a car engine that wouldn't start. I was like, wow. He was like, no, I ain't gonna tell you what to do. I was like, whoa. And look at how Stephen A treated LeBron. Everybody being exposed. That's all I can say. Everybody being exposed on the same damn day. I'm like, where's Cat Williams when you need him? I'm like, Jesus. People talking about Cat Williams exposed the industry. I'm like, well, everybody else is exposing themselves. I'm like, because this is insane. This is insane for Stephen A to cower to Alexis Ohanian that way. Because I guess he a billionaire or he works with billionaires. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know exactly who he is. I just don't know if he's a billionaire or not. I know he's well connected. And Stephen A, might be time to repo his black card because that was pretty bad the way he tore down Serena. If you don't know about it, it's out there. Go watch it. After the Super Bowl, Stephen A has choice words for Serena Williams for crip walking with Kendrick Lamar after the Super Bowl. But when her husband pops up, holding Stephen A accountable, he cowered. Stephen A cowered. Serena Williams is a black woman. Her husband is a white man. So he cowered to a white man. But he had all this bravado for a black woman. And Stephen A and people like Stephen A, like Andrew Berry and Stephen A, you put them in the same group, right? What message do they believe that they are sending to their black children? Stephen A's daughter is beautiful, Samantha. I love when she's on his show. What message are you sending to Samantha with her beautiful melanated self when you tear down Serena Williams with her beautiful melanated self? But when Serena's husband check you on your own show, on your own platform, you cower, and he's white. What message do people like Andrew Berry think they're teaching their sons? I don't care half white or black, because eventually they're going to get told what they are. Whether it's by the parents that are racist or the racist kids that they raise. In high school, same time period, Josh Allen was pushing snow supremacy. What message y'all think y'all sending by demeaning and degrading black people, devaluing black people, but cowering, shrinking to white people? I think one of the most disrespectful things can happen to you in life is for your own kids not to respect you. Because at some point, normally about 7, 8, or 9, your kids figure out who you are. And their kids, I don't know about Andrew Berry's kids, but regardless of what their kids' ages are, they're going to get older. History, you can't erase it. And the way y'all moving, devaluing your own, whether it's black women or black men, and cowering, shrinking to white women or white men in this climate, in any climate, you're going to pay for that later on in life. All right, let me see what y'all are saying, because this is crazy. Today has been one crazy, very day filled with revelations. All right. Hey, B. Thomas, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Crowley, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Don't forget, I put into the chat, I put the link. This is what it looked like. You can find it. I start off by saying, what? It's on YouTube. Go check it out. Go check it out. Yep, fire Stefanski. Yep, fire Stefanski. I totally agree. I totally agree. And yeah, they have some people over there who, are saying that this is bad. Asking the Browns fans how they feel, and the fans are like, fire Stefanski, we need an O-line. They're mixed. They're not on the same page, right? Which maybe can explain, what their problems are. Their fans don't all seem to be trying to win. Their fans don't all want to recognize you got a winner sitting right there rotting on the bench. They're not even pushing for that. But today it's Andrew Berry's fault. Yep, the Falcons won. The Falcons won, Mac. Yep, fire Stefanski, ditto. Facts. It said, I expect the dog to bark. It said, I watched this video earlier. Okay, Tina. How you doing? How you doing, Pink? How you doing? Vlad TV. What's that? Oh, yeah. I don't watch it, but I've heard the conversation. Yep, that's facts. Same thing. Same time, letting people take your culture and shape it and demean you at the same time. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is. Hey, Miss Pamela, how you doing? How you doing? It said Josh Allen played in a movie opposite Michael Jordan. What movie is that? Josh Allen's wife played in a movie opposite Michael Jordan. What movie is that? What movie is that? Hey, Christopher, how you doing? Mac, thank you so much. Thank you. Josh Allen's wife. Yeah, her name is Hallie, but she used her dad's last name. If her mom and her dad still married, their last name. Peace and blessings. What she says, sports and chat. Yeah, and from what I could see, she not really doing anything to hide it. But I did notice he kept saying his wife, to the point I was like, nah, who is his wife? I was like, what? and yeah, there's a plastic surgeon out there showing the pictures, what she looked like at 18 and getting older, and the type of work she's had done, and pointed out, because you could see she had her nose done, right? Not exactly the Michael Jackson nose, but not far from it. He said it's called refining the nostrils, like this part, and making sure the nostrils show more or something like that. It's out there. It's out there. So it says, sis, don't play. No, don't play. Perry, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It said Josh Allen wife played in a movie with Michael B. Jordan. You talking about Sinners? That's what I mean. The movie Sinners. If you saw the movie Sinners, you know exactly who Mary is. Mary was a light-skinned Black woman. At a time, she was passing for white. White passing. That's the term, right? I even wondered if Arthur Blank was white passing, because I don't know. But I saw a picture of him today, and I'm from New Orleans. We see all sorts. We see Black people, green eyes, hell blue, so we kind of know, right? So when I saw her, I posted on my stories, who's the Black woman in the middle? She was, again, in between Yara Shahidi, Hallie Steinfeld, and then the little sister of Chloe Bailey, the one, I don't know her name, but she was Ariel in the Disney movie. They were all hanging out together. And then she's in the movie Sinners, playing a light-skinned Black woman who was having some kind of identity crisis, because she's in love with this Black man, but she out here white passing. And Josh Allen history, I'm just like, you can't make this up, bro. I'm like, now, is this karma or plot? Which one is it, right? So yeah, you can't make this up. You just cannot make this up. You just can't do it. The Atlanta coach tried to lose it by not kicking on that field goal. Oh, he did. They did kick a field goal. Oh, you saying he didn't want to kick a field goal? It says, so Josh Allen's wife is in a Sinners movie. Yes, Josh Allen's wife is Mary, one of the main characters in a Sinners movie, who was in love with Michael B. Jordan. She's a light-skinned Black woman, and her father's Jewish. And Josh Allen's history that's going out today, that's going viral today. This video was dropped today. I'm like, now why is all this happening at the same time? And I'm in the gym going, what? I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Somebody, Dylan Gabriel doesn't have a good line. Yeah, that's what they said. It's the O-line fault. But when Shedeur played against the Rams, and it was the O-line fault, it's Shedeur's fault. When Shedeur came out of Colorado with a negligent O-line, it's Shedeur's fault. But Dylan can't even see to get the ball. He's throwing hospital balls all over the place. That's what they calling it, right? Because y'all called it that first, but today they still calling it that. And it's the O-line fault. If I'm on the O-line, I'm like, you know what? I ain't coming back here next year. That's why people want to get the hell on. It said, yep, she was in centers. Yep, his wife is passing. I don't know. It's like, this is crazy. I'm like, can you imagine you on the treadmill with the elevation at like 5 or 7? You looking at your phone, and you know, I knew the video about Josh Allen came out. I was shocked because I was reading the comments, and it said, I can't believe Josh Allen is racist. I was like, wait a minute. I said, hold on now. I said, that's why they be using Josh Allen against Lamar Jackson. So I was like, what? And then I tried to find a video again. So I just Googled Josh Allen, and then the NFL video came up, and I noticed it had just dropped. And again, Josh Allen is talking about his wife. And I'm like, who is his wife? And I was like, what? This is crazy. And then when I find out she in the movie Sinners playing a light-skinned black woman, Mary, and I understood the movie was they got to her first, the vampire, so they had to keep her at bay so she don't get everybody else. And I'm like, what? She playing a light-skinned black woman with an identity crisis. What? And her husband keeps saying, my black wife, because he done been found to be racist. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, you can't make this up. Oh my God. And NFL out here trying to use him against Lamar Jackson, who's black, but he married to a light-skinned black woman. I'm like, what? Then he come to Atlanta and lose to the blackest team in the NFL. I was just like, what? You can't make none of this up, bro. It said you can't make none of this up. None of it. None of it. None of it. This is crazy that I'll be happening today. I'm like, what? It says sis is throw up. It says sis is threw up, screwed up. That's crazy. It's just crazy to me. I know, Peter. I'm like, Pete, stop going. What? Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord, it's crazy, bro. I'm just I'm telling you, this crazy. And then I run into a post from Master P that said, God is never late. He always on time. I'm like, what? Drop my phone on the treadmill and it's clear right on the floor. I was like, let me get out of here. I was like, cause what? It's crazy. This you can't make none of this up. You can't make none of this up. Like, I mean, this is what they say: the truth is stranger than fiction. Nobody would have ever come up with this plot. Like a little racist kid in high school gets to the NFL, he apologizes, and then he marries a white passing black woman whose father is Jewish, and I don't know if he's Jewish. And she is up in the movie Sinners playing the Lady Mary that they got to keep away from the black people because she gonna infect them. I'm like, what? I'm just like, this is crazy. This is crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, this is mind-boggling. I'm just like, what? It said, okay, Max, she is talking. It's already coming out, popping. I'm like, bro, it's crazy. It's a small world. That's all you can say. Is I'm gonna give you a t-shirt that say what? Because I was all X. I was like, y'all did not tell me Josh Allen was racist. I had no idea. But now it's all starting to make sense. But throwing in the wife is the what? Oh Lord, have mercy. Whew. That's crazy. 13 is bad luck. Today the 13. Oh, yeah. It said Thomas Jefferson had Sally Hemings. Right. And she was still a slave. Right. Get ready for the Giants to blow up. What they got going on? Cam Scatterboo? That's who gonna help them blow up. Oh Lord. No Limit say it is not a plot. It's a karma. It said yes. Just stitch Shedeur. We good. Facts. I totally agree. Cause it's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. So Josh Allen gifted 50 million to HBCUs. No, wait, no. Arthur Blank gifted 50 million to HBCUs today. It was announced, and they was playing the Bills, and people thought they was gonna lose, just like Lamar did. But the Falcons ended up winning the game because Josh Allen threw an interception at the end. because they had marched down the field, but I mean, it was a 10-point game, so I don't know what the hell's going on. So no, Arthur Blank donated the 50 million. Josh Allen is married to the light-skinned black woman, and the NFL persistently uses Josh Allen to discriminate against Lamar Jackson, who's black. Yes. What? And she plays Mary in the movie Sinners. In the movie Sinners, and Mary is the character is a light-skinned black woman with an identity crisis, who's in love with this black man, and at a time when that's forbidden. So she was white passing, but she was black, so that's why they say white passing. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Nick Bosa, yep, and his brother ended up playing for the Bills. Go Falcons, slick face, yep. Tennessee Titan Callahan, yep, fired today. Mike Tomlin was and is off code. What do you mean by that? It's that exactly. Tomlin needs to. No, Tomlin did right. So I know why Tomlin called out Barry. Because Barry ain't right over there. Barry just useful. Just being useful. So yeah, that's just crazy. Yeah, Kirk Cousins has a $100 million contract. It said add Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker to that list with Josh Allen. I think Tomlin shouldn't say anything. The Steelers passed on Shedeur. Mike Tomlin could not draft Shedeur. That's what the story was I was telling y'all. When it first happened, from the outside looking in, they wanted y'all to think that Mike Tomlin had autonomy. He did not. He, just like Andrew Berry didn't have autonomy at the end. Andrew Berry and Mike Tomlin were the only two GM coaches that were told what to do in the draft. Mike Tomlin was getting ready to draft Shedeur. And then he said it, and then they tried to change the narrative. He said there were these phone calls, and we had to listen to these phone calls. And then the other person was still there. So they came to Mike Tomlin, not to intimidate him, but to all but tell him, you can't draft Shedeur. Just like if you pay attention to Andrew Berry's draft conversation early, he was high on Shedeur. They were going to get Shedeur until the owner says, we took a big swing and miss with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is not the problem. Stefanski is. Deshaun Watson does not fit Stefanski's system, and neither does Shedeur, and they're different quarterback styles. It's because they're black. And it seems to me that the owner does not want a black franchise QB drafted out the first round because maybe he can't stomach paying a black man $50 million because that's how much the first pick gonna be next year. And Shedeur would have been 40. His value was $46 million for QB1, pick number 2 overall this year. So that's where I think CJ Stroud name is coming from. And I think Cleveland will happily take CJ Stroud, devalue him in his contract extension year, which is why all of this is happening to him off the market. So he's not a black QB1. And they'll move Shedeur on or keep Shedeur behind CJ Stroud to get their great white hope. And if they can't, they'll just wait till next year. And it is true. Mid-October, it does seem to be mid-October is when Deshaun Watson can return to practice. Trade deadline is November 4th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Somebody getting traded. It should be Dylan. Because they knew what was going to happen when he got out there. And Stefanski has the same conversation he had when it came to Flacco when the Lions game. He was like, yeah, no, we good on the quarterback. We keep it pushing. Same thing. Same thing. People keep assuring us that his job is safe. Stefanski is not the overall leader. He's just the faithful servant. He's guilty, yes, but somebody else pulling the strings, and that's who needs to go. Barry and Stefanski are just useful. Hey, Beach, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It said Talisa Moore, exactly. Tomlin. Yeah, okay. Fine. How you doing? How you doing? It said Steelers had the 21st pick in the 2025 draft. Right. So when they said Shedeur was falling, he was expected to go to Pittsburgh until the whole Pittsburgh wanted Aaron Rodgers. See, when Pittsburgh moved out Russell Wilson, why do you think they moved Russell Wilson out? Because Lamar Jackson, that they keep colluding against, and Kyler Murray, who they put in his contract, he got homework to do every day, colluding against him too, wanted the guaranteed contract that Deshaun Watson has. But Nobody else can get Deshaun Watson's contract. Maybe if they go out here and get 21 civil lawsuits, maybe they can get it, especially if they ask for a trade and they're retaliated against. So people like to use Deshaun Watson to say that the Browns are not racist. The Browns organization is not racially biased against black quarterbacks, because look at him. They gave him $230 million. Did they? Were they the ones that just wrote the check, but it was somebody else's idea? 13 teams wanted Deshaun Watson so they can ball out. He had never been injured like that. And then he gets thrown under the bus and devalued by Haslam, who also devalued Shedeur Sanders. So understand that. It said Ohio, what happened? Unclaimed funds from Ohio was given to the Browns. Is that why they paid $1 million so they can get $600 million? It said at this point, I don't care. I see why fans don't want Shedeur to play. After everything that's happened since this game. Nope. It said Dylan throws to helmets. Yeah, I heard about that one. It said Arch Manning 20-26. What's that about? Oh, 2026. Yeah, that's who I think they want to get. And the guy at the radio station was like, it's time to move on to Shedeur Sanders. I'm just saying. I'm like, you also work at the same station that was putting out a tracker with Arch Manning being the guy coming out number one, or tracking him number one and Lenore Sellers number two. Based on what? And then Lenore Sellers get concussed. That's who should be the number one pick going to Cleveland. But if they didn't want Shedeur, or do they really want Lenore Sellers? Or will they only take CJ Stroud if they can devalue him and take him off the 16 or 32? O-line is bad, but Dylan put 5 teammates in the hospital tent. And that's disturbing, right? Allowing the players to get hurt rather than taking Dylan out. You see what I am? See what I'm saying? It said, if Dylan was humble, we would support him. Right. I'm supporting him because he's part of the problem. He's the one that's entitled. Let's just be honest. And he decided to allow them to gas him up. Kane Bishop said, Mary Kay switching sides and throws Kevin under the bus by asking, what is he going to do with the quarterback position, seeing his relationship with Shedeur, with so many people wanting to see him play? Really? I know why she's switching sides, and you do too. If you remember the beginning of the summer, she didn't like Shedeur. Oh, Dylan was drafted before him, this, that, and the other. They tried to get rid of her. Remember? And that's when they brought in Daniel Oyefuse. And I was like, wait a minute, somebody missing. She used to be out there with the other two. And yeah, they moved her out the way because she was filled with microaggressions coming at Shedeur. After they came back and came to practice, they had moved Daniel Oyefuse back to the desk, apparently. And now Mary Cabot was back out there. And that's when we learned that, she had been there for 31 years. She's the lifer, and she comes from a media family, right? And what she decided to do was take her conversation about Shedeur, profit off of it by making it private, because she was caught using that whole cerebral type trope about Shedeur can't learn the plays. And again, somebody got on her. So because the Browns got on her, she coming for the Browns a little bit, slightly. She presses them with questions that she know that they not going to answer. And it makes Kevin Stefanski look stupid. It really does. And it ain't nothing they can do about it, because they tried to move her and they can't. So pay attention to that narrative. Now she got the upper hand. Think about it. She already know where all the bodies buried. 31 years, she know where the bodies are buried. They can't do nothing about her. And look at how Stefanski responds to Mary Cabot, and look at how he responds to Daniel Oyefuse. The same thing he tried to hide with Shedeur Sanders is the same thing he tried to hide with Daniel Oyefuse, the reporter. So understand that. Cleveland is definitely not safe for Shedeur. I totally agree. That's why I said the trade deadline is November 4th. So, at this point, it's just best for Shedeur to lay low, and he probably going to get traded. Now, he supposedly, you would think before that deadline that he could play in a game, because he does have to show his value. Now, they put Dylan out there to show his value. So if they trade him for nobody, he gonna learn a valuable lesson, because they had him throw the ball 52 times and he could not score. And even though they're not talking about moving away from him, they know he's being evaluated for a trade at some point, because they have to do it before the year ends up, or it's considered malpractice. Shedeur gonna get his opportunity too. Is it gonna be the same way? They both have to play. Was this Dillon playing? He don't look good. And honestly, it doesn't matter if people in Cleveland make excuses for Dillon. It doesn't matter, right? Because everybody else sees the truth, and people know, people in the football world know that it's egregious to have him throw the ball 52 times, number one. And what does it say if he can't connect and score? You can't blame his teammates for that. You can't blame Pittsburgh on Pittsburgh. He not good. And they don't care. They using him too. That's why he frustrated. They using him too because he frustrated. So how did you find out about unclaimed funds? Let me know what you found out. Are you in Cleveland, or did you read that somewhere? I haven't heard anything about that, but I don't doubt it. Thank you for the support, No Limit Soldier. I appreciate you. It said Gabe Owens needs a raise. Who is Gabe Owens? Who is Gabe? Who is Gabe Owners? Or what? I don't know what you're talking about. You have to let us know. It said no need for Shedeur to even play if Stefanski is the coach. He should preserve his health and prolong his career. Let Dillon play, because after this year, Dillon will never play in the NFL again. They'll find him somewhere to go. They'll probably put him on a practice squad and let him make some money that way. Dillon just needs a ramp for the pocket. Yeah, people said you could see a lot of the problem was he can't see. That's why he kept hitting people in the helmet and all these other things. It said now Cleveland ain't safe for Shedeur. It said they watching every move he makes, whether he on the field or off the field. I believe that, Jay Parrish. But he's never alone. So I will say that. That's also a good thing. It says CU. Huh? Okay, y'all having a separate conversation. It said, did you read what H. Boog said about the situation? I think I did. I think I reposted it on X. I think so. I believe I did. Let's see. Let's see. I had some posts queued up from my page to share. Let's see. Y'all know what the first post is. You can already guess what the first post is. It's the link to the video about Josh Allen. They got him on the thumbnail. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. They got him on the thumbnail. I'm like, no, these people are not playing. Yeah, I don't know who owned that channel, but nothing you can do about it, because they're not embellishing, and they're not lying. They're acting factual. Everything they're talking about is already publicly documented. They just put it all together for you. That's crazy. Yeah, I know they probably want to do something about it, but it's all public information. All right. Let me see. Y'all should be able to see my screen. All right, you can see my screen. All right. So this was the first video. I said, why y'all didn't tell me about Josh Allen? That was about 2 hours ago. That's the video right there. I think NFL Icon is a channel. And then this was the Dog Podcast in Cleveland. They were trying to say that Barry was a problem. I said they called Barry an overseer. I said the overseer is Haslam. Barry is the go fetch. Whose idea was it to draft Dillon? Stefanski's. It said they all knew this season would be an epic fail, and they don't care. It said, but y'all keep making excuses and showing up while they play in your face and LOL behind your back, counting your coins, because that's what's happening. The three of them, Stefanski, Barry, Haslam, and probably somebody else, all knew that they were not serious about a quarterback, which is why they didn't get an O-line. I said that early on. I said they went out here and got 2 running backs. They didn't get no receivers. They didn't get no O-linemen, which means they're going to make Dillon a game manager and just hand off the ball to Quinshon Judkins. They didn't even really do that. They let Dillon throw the ball 52 times, and I heard somebody say Quinshon must have got hurt. So he only had 12 carries. They say he must have got hurt in the game. I'm like, what? So they knew coming into this season, even with them pre-drafting with Shedeur, they knew Shedeur wasn't going to be no game manager. So they try to say his skill set is outdated. So let's move off of him, trade the pick to Jacksonville. They didn't want Shedeur or Travis. They didn't want to win. Not this year. They didn't want to tank, and they didn't need to. Once they were made the offer to trade that pick to Jacksonville for Travis, they knew they were going to get Dylan. He was going to be a game manager. They were going to get Flacco and Pickett as a part of it. And then they went back to get Shedeur. The only reason you get Pickett and Flacco after you get Dylan, you had Pickett first, but then you get Dylan. With just those two, they were expecting Dylan to be the backup and Pickett to be the starter. But then after you leave CU Pro Day, you go get Flacco. So now you have Pickett. You pivot away from Shedeur to go get Dylan. That's two. And then after you leave CU Pro Day on April 4th, on April 10th, or somewhere around there, a couple days before afterwards, you go get Flacco. So at this point, you have 3 quarterbacks in addition to Deshaun that you know not coming back. You got 3 quarterbacks you can roll with. And suddenly, you end up with Shedeur, who you started out with. And what it appears to be is you trade Pickett away for a 5th round pick. You trade Flacco away for a 5th round pick. And you got your picks back for Shedeur because you traded 2 5th round picks to get Shedeur in the 5th round. To me, it doesn't look like happens. It looked like you were intentionally reeling Shedeur in, making people believe you were going to draft him number 2. There's a method to that madness. And when you got Pickett, you knew you was going to always trade Pickett away. And when you got Flacco, you knew you was going to always trade Flacco away after the 7th week. And you knew you had Dylan, and you knew he was never the starter. You knew when you got Flacco and Pickett, you were going to get your picks back for Shedeur, which meant you knew you were going to devalue Shedeur. You knew you were going to get him at a deep discount. Because if you knew he was discounted, you knew you were going to pay him $46 million. And that's why Mike Tomlin is standing on Andrew Berry's head, because that's his doing. And he proud of it. Smiling in Shedeur's face coming down there after the Panthers game, celebrating with him when he the one that reeled in Shedeur for Haslam to devalue. And stands by and does nothing while Stefanski discriminates against him every day. Mike Tomlin should stand on his head. So this was people telling Shedeur's time is coming. And I agree. It's coming. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know what's going to happen, because I'm telling you, the events that's happening today, from what I could see, the things that are being exposed in the most recent video has been exposed before. They just added new people to the story, and it's exposing the NFL itself. One day there will be a video about Kyron Lacey. One day there will be a video about Shedeur Sanders. Bet. So they trying to go after Barry instead of holding Stefanski accountable, instead of holding Haslam accountable. You know why? Because Haslam has Stefanski doing his bidding. Barry is really just the melanin to reel in players like Shedeur and devalue them and not say nothing. So they were asking Travis Hunter about going to London and playing football or whatever, because they going to London. He said, I'm not going over there to sightsee. He said, I'm just going to play football. People have pointed out how masterfully trained Travis Hunter is, media trained. I was like, oh, went to Colorado. So this Daniel Oyefu say right here, it's that Browns head coach, Kevin Stefanski, said he will continue to call plays. It said we have to get better in so many areas, and that includes coaching. It said that includes how we teach our guys, how we put them in different formations, and the ways you run the ball, ways you pass the ball, all the above. So all of the summer was wasted because he didn't teach his players. He didn't develop his players. Okay, so now they're going to let him run it back for the second half of the season. Okay. It said 52 passes and 0 touchdowns is crazy. Yep. He was 29 of 52, 221 yards. Notice they put the yards, but they didn't put the percentage, because if you could do math, you know that that's not good. So, this guy, he's just going back to talk about Stephen A. And because a lot of people standing on Stephen A.'s head. Boog said right here. So somebody asked me what I thought about Boog. It said, to think you could take a rookie QB to Pittsburgh and throw it 52 times is insane. That's what Tony Grossi said on if Stefanski has lost the team. And then Boog said today, he says it's the coach's fault. I trust Coach Steph process. He got to show y'all first and leave no doubt as to why he's about to do what he has to do. Let it play out. So it looked like he's saying, let it play out. And Grossi is saying that it's Stefanski's fault. And Boog is saying he trusts Coach Steph's process, saying that he calls him Steph. That's concerning in itself. It seems too familiar to me to call Stefanski your homeboy, because the way he treating your real homeboy, no. He got to show y'all first, talking about Stefanski, and leave no doubt as to why he's about to do what he has to do. So apparently Stefanski get ready to do something. This guy Boog seems to know about it, and he seems to be stepping for Stefanski by calling him Coach Steph, which is not good. So that must be what Z was asking me if I saw this. I must have saw it and didn't read it. So yeah, because I probably would have reposted it. Then I said we need to get that black card back from Stephen A. We need to repo his black card because yeah, it's a lot going on, y'all. It's a lot going on. People being called out, being exposed. I don't know why Boog is taking up for Stefanski after the horrible way Stefanski has treated Shedeur, but maybe they kissed and made up or something. Boog must have some inside information, because I, for one, for the life of me, have no idea as to why it is he will be out here calling Coach like Stefanski's his homeboy and has not been discriminating against Shedeur the entire way through. Let it play out. Let it play out. And I'm gonna be like, what? All over again. Just that's all I'm gonna say. It said little chicken nuggets, little chicken nuggets, what? Little chicken nugget fangs. Yeah. It said, Dylan Gabriel is their great hope. No, he not. No, he not. Dylan Gabriel's a wedge, like a shoe. No, he's not. It said they know he's not it. His sorry self should be at home or somewhere. No, he is not their hope. He is there in the meantime. He is in the meantime. He was drafted to be in the meantime. I felt like all the way through, they thought the ball would go to Quinshon Judkins, which is why last week in London, he ran 110 yards. He only had 12 carries for 36 yards. Why people say he must have got hurt in the game. So it said T-Mac is the real Dylan Gabriel honors Dan Lanning, not the Hawaiian. Okay, the Queen. I don't know neither one of them. It said the black woman moderator saved Stephen A. from being more embarrassed. Really? Really? Okay. Yeah, people calling him out. They calling him out. Yeah, they definitely calling Stephen A. out. Hey, Kane, thank you. Stephen A. is trying to become a commentator. He's not trying to become a political commentator. He's trying to run for office. I think he was trying to execute a presidential bid. I think he was going to run for president in 2028. Yeah, so I understood what he was, but this looked real bad. He sounded like a car engine that would turn over. I was like, ooh, that's bad. And everything he said, he talked about Serena as if she wasn't married. And then her husband showed up and he was just backtracking all over the place. As I said, somebody need to repo that black card. Woo! And not the Amex one. He is the one he get to the cookout. I didn't know he said that, Peter, but thank you. I didn't know he said that. It said that's right. Those children will be told. Yeah, children the crew. Children gonna tell them who they are. And they don't care. They don't care. And both sides don't tell them. That's the crazy part. Yep. There's no such thing, Mandel. Mandel said they're closer to white. Talking about, I'm like, there's no such thing, brother. See, people, like I said, don't realize, or maybe they do, right? That black people come in about 64 different hues, including albino, right? That might be for people outside the country, but that's what people in this country want you to think, that we all come in one shade, which is insane. So when, if that's the case, you would have known that Haley, you would have known her grandmother was African American. You would have known her more about her mother. You would have known her mama was Black Filipino, or because her mother is African American and Filipino. You would have known that. They intentionally didn't tell you that. They just keep going off her last name, just like Drake. Drake's mom. All we knew was about Drake's mom. How many people knew that Drake's uncle is Larry Graham, the R&B singer, soul singer? I don't know what you call it. When I found that out, I was like, what? They didn't tell you about that side, because they kept that side, the Black side, private and secret until they made it. How many of y'all know a lot of Black celebrities are related to each other? They don't think. That's that industry that they chose to be in, right? So there's no such thing, especially in the United States, right? Like I made a comment. I said, so all the Kardashian kids are Black for the most part, every last one of them. And people got upset. I said, oh, now you want to separate. Now you want to separate. It don't work like that, boo. It might work like that with y'all, but it don't work like that. The NFL got a one-drop rule. They don't give a damn. Tell me why Pat Mahomes out here trying to get it done. I watched the game last night in a restaurant a little bit. I said, Pat Mahomes say, I'm going to run this damn Super Bowl. I'm going to win this game myself. Because I told y'all it was going to be like that this year. Because 16-32 is 16-32. And if you got one drop, you got to go. Because they ain't playing about 17-32. So there's no such thing. People want to believe there is, because it's really just a social construct. But a lot of people take it seriously. It said Stephen A. is a Sooner. It said that was something to see. What's that? What's that? Stephen A. chasing the money. Yeah. And the influence that comes with it. And the influence that comes with it. But he's sending the wrong message to his beautifully melanated daughter. And same thing with Andrew Berry. I just finished watching the video. Real eye-opening. Thank you. Oh, you watched it, Crowley. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Afro Sheen. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you. DJ Vlad is married to a Black woman. No. Oh, Lord. Okay. I mean, that don't give him right to abscond off with Black people's culture and try to demean Black people in the meantime. You know, that's my whole thing, right? You can't, just because, you married a Black woman does not excuse your racism. It just does not. It don't even erase it, because for one, being racist is not like having a cold or the flu. It's not going nowhere. It's right in here. You could try to get over it if you want to, and maybe you could reform yourself. I don't know. But just apologizing for it and still being that way and hiding behind your Black spouse is not it. And how on earth is it that it's okay for white men who are married to Black women to uplift and celebrate these beautiful Black women, but on every other TV commercial or every other ad that come on, the Black man gets displaced with, even in AI or animation, the Black man is put with anybody but a Black woman. Fellas, y'all got to stop falling for the okie doke. Because why is it okay that Alexis can uplift Serena and hold Stephen A. accountable, but Stephen A. can't uplift Serena and hold Serena accountable? You know what the impression is that gives? You know who the Woodalls are? Can't fall for the okie doke. It said, why is there no uproar against Dylan Gabriel when he what? Oh, for trying to take the helmet off? I don't know. That is a good question, because the player that plays for the Chiefs, plays for the Lions in the Lions Chiefs game, he got suspended without pay. Dylan should be suspended without pay. Oh, the Browns fans gonna say something? No. It said Kevin is stubborn. He's determined to do it his way. It's that everyone talking about the craziness of 52 pass attempts instead of passing score to who? Passing score to Quinshon Junkins. Passing something to Quinshon Junkins. I wonder if Quinshon Junkins got hurt in the game, because that's what exposed Dylan if he did. Maybe they believed. Remember, I showed y'all the stats from the game in London against the Vikings and Quinshon Junkins. I told y'all, I said, watch this be the game. Quinshon Junkins break 100 yards. And he did. He went to 110 yards. But how much does Stefanski really like Dillon to let him get out there and look like trash? 52 passes. Even if Quashawn Junkins had 12 and got injured after the 12th one, you couldn't switch up to keep him from looking so bad? Or was that your goal? I have said all along that what's happening to Shedeur is going to happen to Stefanski. What's happening to Stefanski is happening to Dillon. Dillon bought the Kool-Aid. People are using you to block Shedeur, Dillon. People are using Stefanski to block Shedeur. And wait till Arch Manning possibly show up next year. Because they trying to convince him to come out. Look at what happened to the kid at, is it Penn State? Drew Allard. He was supposed to come out last year. They convinced him must have been to stay, and now he injured for the season. So what does that do for his draft chances? He looked brokenhearted. That's like Lenore Seller's father. The kid was offered $8 million, $4 million each for 2 years to change schools to get the hell out of the SEC or go somewhere else, which he should have done. And they said, his dad was like, you don't need $8 million. You have an opportunity to build something special at South Carolina. I was like, are you not from South Carolina? Are you not from the deep fried South? Are you out your damn mind? And his son get concussed so bad, he on the field for 5 minutes. And his coach had to fight for a penalty on the other team. And he just not coming back. What does that do for his number 1 overall? He's devalued. It's devalued. He gonna have to come back and win it all. And pray to God they don't knock him out again. Because if anybody think that was a coincidence, you don't understand 17 to 32. And these people are not playing. Look what they did to Shedeur, who was number 17. So I got Shedeur out the way. So now Lenore Seller's coming in. And he number 17. And look what happened to him. Stephen A. Smith doing exactly what Mr. Charlie wanted him to do. It said, I have never seen Sinners. Is it a good movie? Yes. And definitely go watch it now that you have some context. Definitely go watch it now that you have some context. That's facts. Yes, it is a good movie. It is very good. Yes, that's her name, Hallie. Oh, the other both of their names must be Hallie. Hallie Steinfeld, and Hallie Bailey. And Yara Shahidi. That's who was in the video. That's who was in the video. It said Marilyn Monroe used nose inserts to even out her nostrils. I'm pretty sure she was passing because I don't know. I don't know anything about her. Sinners is good. Yeah, Sinners is good. It is good. What is the movie Sinners about? You got to look it up. You gotta look it up. You gotta look it up. You don't know about the movie Sinners? Just watch the trailer. You can watch just watch the trailer. No, she black, sweetheart. If your grandmother black, so are you. So I don't give a damn if you want to start slicing and dicing, because we don't do that. We in the South. We ain't slicing and dicing because they not. So what you slicing and dicing for? It don't even work like that, boo. It don't work like that. Taking out his receivers left and right. Yep, taking out his receivers left and right. If you want to slice and dice, you ain't got to get your nose fixed if you can slice and dice. That's a waste of time. It said, good evening. Excuse my tardiness. You good, Amber? You good? You didn't get a notification? Uh-oh. Yeah, we've been out. I think I put it out before I went to the gym. No, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Sinners is a good movie. TL say it's kind of like Lovecraft Country, which got canceled, right? No slicing and dicing. It said, who went to Wyoming? Who you talking about? It said, hello. Hey, Cappy, how you doing? It said, in real life, Josh's wife's grandfather is black, just like in the movie. Oh, really? Yeah, I know they say her grandmother is African American too. So, yeah, you can pass around certain people. You can't pass around everybody. It's something about your chin. It's something they looking at that we ain't looking at, that we ain't supposed to know about, that they talk about. And the whole situation is just crazy. Jonathan Majors and Journey Smollett. Was that Lovecraft Country? Is that who was in Lovecraft Country? I'm wondering about Sarkeesian too. People said, no, that man loved his wife. And the team does too. Josh Allen loved his wife. That's why I know about it, because he keeps talking about it. I'm like, let me look up your wife, because you keep talking about your wife. But he thinks his wife, she's the reason for. I'm like, they say black women, we got some kind of magic. You know, very supportive, very loyal. We'll hold you accountable. We'll hold you accountable. He seems to love his wife too. Serena husband, he don't play about her either. He don't play about his daughter either. Matter of fact, I said we're gonna talk about this one day. Might as well just talk about it now. Athlos. Okay, Athlos was started by, I do think, Serena Williams and her husband Alexis, and he don't care what y'all say. People call him Mr. Serena Williams. He don't give a damn. See, people confident when they got billions in the bank. You can call me whatever you want to call me. Just be respectful. He don't have a problem with being associated with his wife and people saying that. And even though they joking, he don't have a problem with that. That's like Tamara Woodhall, her husband. He wears a T-shirt that says wife something like, and people say you don't have a problem with that. He said, why would I marry her if I can't, pump her up like that? Just saying. Stephen A. tearing down Serena, and her husband is like, excuse me. But then when Will Smith did it, it's just totally different reaction. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, and he's looking a little crazy. He's looking a little crazy. He's looking a little crazy that Will Smith can't defend his wife, and that Stephen A. could tear down Serena Williams and her husband could show up who's white and put Stephen A. in his place. And he sound like, it's just looking a little cowardly. It's looking a little right that a white man can elevate and support his black wife, but the black man can't. Like, what the hell is up with that? Get it together. Sarkeesian, yeah, man, love his wife. Stream HBO Max. Both are on there. Okay. Are you talking about Sinners? Okay. I'm gonna just say this when people talk about black people passing. Okay, I'm from New Orleans, and when I say that, I'm not just telling you where I'm from geographically. I'm telling you about the culture, right? I'm telling you that I ain't as light as they come, and it gets lighter, but we still know they black, right? We still know that, right? Green eyes, we still know you black. You can have blue, we still know you black. There are black children, black gingers with two black parents. We still know you black, right? DNA, the genes, right? You can't go by that. You can't just look at a person and assume that they're not black. Did you know? This might explain why Kansas State was in last place. Did you know that Avery Johnson, the quarterback at Kansas State, is black? Because I damn sure didn't. And I just told you I'm from New Orleans. I'm like, he what? When I found out he was black? When unfortunately his family had some kind of agreement in public, and they was fighting, and somebody filmed it, and they said Avery Johnson's father and his brother had a fight outside the stadium at the game. I said, what Avery Johnson? They talking about Kansas State quarterback. So Blondie comes up, right? I'm like, hello. What? They talking about he black. I'm like, no, the hell he not. So I go and look it up. I'm like, what? Is that why he in last place this year? Because his daddy and his brother got fighting. People figured out they was black because they damn sure they was dead last. I was like, why he last? Is it his NFL year? What? I'm trying to tell y'all. They ain't playing. 17-32, they are not playing. And now that his family that had a fight in public and have confirmed for us who they are, because people can see them. They're more visible, right? The visibility. Yeah. Now y'all know they cheated for Kansas State for us against CU when we played them, because they thought he was white. What? I'm just telling y'all, it's getting wicked out here. It's getting wicked out here. So we gonna see, you know, like Boog say, let it play out. I don't know what he talking about, but kissing up to somebody that is actively discriminated and making your life harder for Shedeur Sanders because he's black, and they don't want a black long-term quarterback franchise to win with. It's a little strange. It's a little strange. But I do agree with let it play out, because we're gonna have to do that anyway, right? So that's what it is. It's funny how back in the 30s, the setting of centers, one drop rule was dominant, but now she looks and act like it doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure she did that for Hollywood. The reason I was telling you about the video she was in, everybody she was around, they were black. I think she did what she needed to do to get where she needed to get in Hollywood, like a lot of them have, unfortunately, right? Some people say, was it Gabrielle Union? They thought she did something to her nose or something like that. I'm pretty sure the last name has more to do with it than the surgery for the nose, because they don't really care about that either. If I know, and I keep telling y'all, and yes, it's true. The one drop rule was more dominant back then. The NFL has old ways, and I told y'all when we were looking at that chart, I said, "Oh, they believe in the one drop rule." I could tell, because they were pairing up DJ Ukulele, or what's his last name, and I found out his mom was black. I was like, okay, and they promptly, instead of him being a triplet, they put him on the practice squad, like the rest of the black quarterbacks. They don't care. They don't care. It works for you till it don't work, because ultimately they know. And it seems to me that they take it every measure that they can to make sure nobody slip in and go, surprise, 17-32, I'm black. That's what it seems like. It's like, I'm making sure. I don't care if you Polynesian, your mama black, can't do it. Josh, you keep talking about your black wife, so your kids gonna be black. I'm gonna need you to get over here. Pat, thank you. Move to the right. I need Matt Jones and Jackson. I don't need nobody else that could mess things up. I need 6'17", Matt Jones and Jackson Dart. Buffalo is extremely, yeah, it must be. It must be, because it said who came from Wyoming. Oh, you talking about where Josh Allen went to school? That might be why they sent him up to Buffalo, because I don't think it's a coincidence that Nick Bosa's brother also plays for Baltimore. I don't think it's a coincidence that it was a Baltimore fan that attacked Lamar Jackson. You see? And I said that's on NFL, because Lamar Jackson was at work and they didn't protect the workplace negligence. Why did that Buffalo fan, with Buffalo winning the game, think it was okay to attack Lamar? Because who else does it? The NFL. And it seems to me the more melanated you are, the worse it is. That's just reality. Shedeur, Lamar Jackson, Cam Ward. Yeah. But here's the thing. Most people didn't know Spencer Rattler was black. They're like, Spencer Rattler's black? I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh, they discriminate against him too. Right. Because 17-32 is up on them. And they like, I don't give Spencer Rattler, Lamar Jackson, anybody in between, don't care. Matt Jones, Jackson Dart. They tried it with Tyler Shaw and Jackson Dart, but Tyler Shaw didn't work out. Matt Jones, Jackson Dart. I told you, they're going to give Mac Jones somebody job, and it could be CJ Stroud. Pay attention. Pay attention. Texas Sarkisian. Yep, UT's coach Sarkisian is black, and said that Arch Manning, he picked his own school, and I've said it, and I will keep saying it. Arch Manning has no problem hanging out with black people. No problem with black people. Like, you just look at this context. He doesn't. And like I said, I like the kid, right? I think he should get another year, but I could see that they trying to force him out, because that's what Cleveland want to do, and they think he's too young to make his own decision. And this is important for our culture, for you to come out and take the reins so that Shedeur don't get nowhere and take over with his presence and his 4 million fans. Preservation of whiteness at the quarterback position. That's where we are in the NFL. 17-32, and they ain't playing. Not even one drop. Sugar Creek said, I like Dylan Grable because I played football with a few Royal family members who was drafted by the Browns as a D lineman. But Dylan Gable's slick mouth has dishonored the warrior heart of the Aloha. Oh, yeah, really? Yeah, because Ted McMillan, he's quiet. He don't say nothing. He don't say nothing at all. Yeah, Josh Allen and his wife got married in May of 2025. That's facts. They started dating in 2023. That's facts. So that's facts. It said, why don't I see what happened with Dylan Gabriel trying to rip the player's helmet off? I saw it earlier today. It's out there. I think you just gotta Google it. It's out there because I saw it earlier today. And people did say Shiloh got kicked out for less. Yeah, people said that after it happened. It says Steve's no head coach has authority over player personnel. Kevin couldn't keep Flacco in Cleveland either. Very valid point. Valid point. But I will tell you this. I bet between Haslam, Barry, and Stefanski, the reason Dylan Gabriel is in Cleveland is not because of Andrew Barry, but because of Kevin Stefanski. So I don't think any of them could keep. If Haslam wanted Flacco gone, or if Flacco wanted Flacco gone, Flacco's gone. It don't matter if it was retaliation for getting gravitated towards Shedeur because Flacco knew Shedeur was a better QB. They retaliated against him and booted him out. But then he ends up a starter, which is different, right? But he got so much clout in the league, he's going to be a starter, and maybe because he wanted to move on. Maybe he don't like what was happening to Shedeur. Maybe he wanted to be on a team that win. There's a lot of players that don't like what's happening in Cleveland, but not many of them wanted to gravitate towards Shedeur, who was good, except for Myles Garrett. And they still coming for him too. They still coming for Myles Garrett. They said he make too much money not to be playing well. Like, he's not a leader. That's what they said today. I'm like, oh, now he's not a leader. You see, it's everybody but Stefanski's. And when he says coaching got to get better, he won't even say I have to do better. He don't have to say coaching. He could say himself. He won't even be accountable for himself. That's why Shedeur, just sit tight. Just sit tight. And God is clearly protecting you from this franchise. So just sit tight. Baker Mayfield is an MVP candidate. Whenever he got him a black coach, Stefanski couldn't win with him. Oh yeah, because he's in Tampa, and everybody is saying he's MVP candidate. Yep. Mandrell said Russell Wilson was given a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson was married before to a white woman. I didn't know he was married at all. Really? Okay. That's some interesting news. I didn't know Russell Wilson was married before. It said Mary Kay switch sides like Don King. Whoever winning, she with. I think she pulling her card. I think she pulling her flex. That's what I think. I told y'all this before. I said, you know what? She know where the bodies are buried, and they can't get rid of her because they tried, and she right there. We gonna see what happens because it's all happening right before our eyes. And Shedeur just need to sit down and just stay ready, bro. Because we don't know. You might get traded November 4th. Dylan might get traded November 4th. Boog might know something, but he shouldn't be out here calling Stefanski stuff like it's a homeboy because of the gross way that Shedeur was treated. But I don't know him. So, again, trying to cozy up to somebody who doing homeboy wrong ain't it at all. It's not it. That's how Stephen A. ended up in the situation he in. That's exactly how he ended up in that situation, cozying up to the people that have the power and not holding them accountable. But look now, you being exposed. Before Sanders gets his chance, the Browns will have lost all of their players. It said the hospital balls and trades are like cutting the brakes on a driver's race car. That's a good point. That's actually a good point. A lot of people are getting injured, so they're not going to have Nobody really. So who Shedeur gonna get out there with, right? They saying the O-line is trash. You knew the O-line was trash last year. Which means when you went in with Dylan Flacco and Pickett, you knew that this season was gonna be trash. And they don't want to admit to their fans that they over there LOLing and counting their fans' money at the same time, because this was the plan. Their fans ought to be asking, since y'all was gonna get Shedeur, why y'all not playing Shedeur? See, they don't want to ask that question. They don't want to hold the team accountable. They're already moving out the city, but at least the mayor made them pay. $100 million is a lot of money. And they got to pay to demolish $30 million to demolish that stadium. And so the mayor's like, look, you're not going to just sit up here and trash my city and leave. You're not going to leave blight everywhere. You want to leave? Fine. It's going to cost you $100 million. You know, pay for the demolition. And then you're going to do something for the citizens. Because did they go over there and do anything for Garden Valley? But try to trash Shedeur when he did. That's why they want out, because Cleveland is 42% black. They want to move out to Brook Park, which is surrounded by former sundown towns, which is why their fans don't do nothing. Because they have the same philosophy as Stefanski and as the owner. The only reason I give a damn is about Shedeur. Get him out of there. Or get them out of there, but I don't think they're going nowhere. So maybe by November 4th at 4 p.m., he'll be traded to another team. Huntley played yesterday. Huntley was third string. They let him play. There are other teams that are showing the Browns what to do. Lamar Jackson, QB1, is out, just like Flacco's gone. They put Cooper Rush in. He wasn't good. QB2. So guess what? They elevated Huntley in time so he can come play. Did they care about Huntley being QB3 or QB2? No. So why the hell does the Cleveland Browns care so much about Shedeur getting the opportunity? Because the goal was to make sure he never got one. So when you start today and you start posting, make sure you hashtag Kyron Lacy, because they want you to forget about Kyron Lacy, just like they want you to forget about hashtag Shedeur Sanders. But see, Shedeur got 4 million fans and followers that can push accountability, that can apply pressure. We just was expecting the Browns fans to hold their organization accountable, because most of us didn't know they were so poorly run. So it took Shedeur coming in the door to put the light on Cleveland. Nah, it's up to their fans. Guess we'll see what happens. Guess we'll see. It said, who in the hell would trade for Dylan? Hell, nobody now. That's Stefanski made him look bad. And that's what I need to be asking himself. You out here fighting Pittsburgh. You need to be fighting Stefanski. That man put you out there and had you throw 52 reps, and you didn't score one time, and no team is going to want you unless they take you as a favor. And if you just happen to be in the league and get a t-shirt like Acho, then, you know, that's what it's going to be. That's just what it's going to be. People not going to respect you because they are letting you look like what they try to turn Dylan into Shedeur. That one will never happen. And they're not even sorry that they didn't even play Shedeur like Baltimore played Huntley or Cooper Rush. They're not even sorry that the Browns haven't fired Stefanski, just like Tennessee fired Callahan, also 1-5. They just keep coming on with these excuses. That's on their fans. All of it. I'm sick of all of it. I just want Shedeur to just, whatever God's will is, because clearly Shedeur is being protected. Let Stefanski be stubborn, because it sounds like now ain't nobody out there to protect for Shedeur. And nobody out there to catch the ball. Hell. It said, like I be saying, when Mary Cabot shows up to interviews with her hair braided, cap on backwards, thick chain, and big face watch, it said, that's when I believe she'll be all in on Shedeur. That's funny. Let me tell you when I noticed the change in her. Does anybody remember Shedeur was walking? She was interviewing, and Shedeur walked by and was like, hey. And she was like, she looked like, oh, he liked me. That's really how she looked. She was like, and ever since then, she have some type of, like, she feel like she pushing them where Shedeur is concerned. It's like she switched up when he spoke to her. It's like she didn't think he liked her. I don't know what the hell them people have told them about Shedeur. But I remember from that interview forward, she was different. And he walked by and he was like, hey. And she was different ever since then. Yep. And then they try to get rid of her. Oh, that was after that. Then she came back. So that's what it was. So they tried to get rid of her. So she already didn't like that, but she had to muscle her way to use her clout to get her spot back, and she got it. Then Shedeur came by, and she was interviewing, and he was on camera. He's like, hey, hey. And ever since then, she be pressing him. So Daniel, your Fusay is pressing from the left because he normally is asking the question first. And then I'll hear her sound like she's closer to the right because I could look at the way Stefanski's head, like he looking over here to Dylan, and then he looking over here to her. So she's definitely there to ask questions, and she's pressing now, right? And she doesn't have that narrative. Oh, well, Dylan was drafted first because that was the narrative they were pushing. Well, why are you not playing Shedeur? Because Dylan was drafted first. So she just ran with it. And then she got a little self in trouble. And then they pushed her out the way. I don't think she liked it. And then Shedeur was like, hey, hey. And then she was like, oh, he liked me. What? Like I say, what? I'm just saying. I noticed it, though. I noticed it back then. It say, girl, hey, girl, how about them Dodgers? How about them Dodgers? Okay. It said supercomputer downloaded a SAC virus. Facts. Definitely some kind of virus. Recognized past happy Andy Reid never win a Super Bowl until he got a running back offensive coordinator in Eric Bieniemy. I didn't know he worked for them. Is he still over there? Eric Bieniemy still in Kansas City? It said they won running the ball last when they never threw too much. Interesting. I had no idea Eric Bieniemy worked under what was he, the defensive coordinator? Offensive coordinator. Well, I know he don't work there because the NFL has whittled down to 0 black offensive coordinators. Byron Leftwich was one. Eric Bieniemy was the other. Make sure to hit the like button. Yes. How many of us are in here? And we get ready to wrap it up. Let's see. 313. 313 of us came in, hit the like button. Yeah, today was definitely a day of strangeness. So I made this to share. So whenever you see it, just make sure y'all go ahead and repost it. I don't care about the post. I care about the getting out there and people feeling the same way. Hopefully by Halloween, because it's Halloween colors. And I know the draft window, the trade window closes November 4th. So hopefully by then, trick or treat, smell my feet, fire Kevin Stefanski, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. So that's where we at. I don't care what nobody else said. I don't care who want to call him his homeboy or whatever. No, like you got to get rid of these people. And shout out to the Tennessee Titans, because I just know Brian Callahan. I bet he believed. I bet they shot the hell out of him. And when they fired him and they didn't bench Cam Ward, because I really think that's what he thought. But the fans could see it. The fans like, Cam is good. Right. Your coach is bad. But see, Tennessee did something about it. The Browns still making excuses. All right. So we're going to get ourselves out of here. This was awesome. This was filled with a lot of surprises, right? With people doing things and being exposed and cowering to others. It's just all kind of crazy. So, we're gonna see. We just gonna see whatever it is it's gonna be. And whatever door got open for Shedeur, whether it's the play under Stefanski and Stefanski get his head on straight, or if it's the trade Shedeur or the trade Dylan, it's gonna be what it is. May God's will be done in the situation. And I trust it from there. I trust whatever God decided to do, because this whole situation is just crazy, right? So we're gonna get out of here, everybody, and we'll be back tomorrow at 10:35 p.m. with As the NFL Turns, because it's a soap opera. It's a soap opera. If you have not watched the video that I put in the link, copy and paste the video and go watch it, because you're gonna be like, what? All right, that's my time, everybody. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Over 300 of us in the live stream chat. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.